as you, Robert, the human rights defender, what do you say about the current torture that is happening in Uganda?
Okay. One, I would like to draw your attention to the Prevention and Prohibition of Torture Act, which was enacted and passed in 2012. As you can see, this is a very rich act. Torture is a crime. Torture is cruel. Torture is inhuman. It is degrading. Everyone knows that. Specifically, Section 2 of this act defines torture, meaning any act or omission by which severe pain or suffering, whether physical or mental, is intentionally inflicted on a person by or at the instigation of or with the consent or acquiescence of any person, whether a public official or other person acting in an official or private capacity for such purpose. Now, many times suspects or people are tortured with the purpose of obtaining information or confessions from them, punishing those people or that person for acts or omissions that suspected to have done. Also done for purposes of intimidating that person so that they can refrain from doing something, or in order for them to do something. And my position is, under no circumstance, if you look at Article 44 of the Constitution, torture, the right to freedom from torture is one of those non-derogable rights. Under no circumstance should anyone be subjected to torture. And therefore, Section 3 of our Act here is clear that notwithstanding anything in this Act, there shall be no derogation from the enjoyment of the right freedom from torture. And this confirms what I've just said as laid down in Article 44 of the Constitution. And there can never be a defense for someone torturing another. And when you look at Section 4, a person who performs any act of torture is defined in Section 3, which we have just seen. And such a person commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for 15 years or to a fine of 360 currency points or both. Now, when you look at the back of this act, a currency point is equivalent to 20,000, so you have to multiply the amount of 360 times 2 times 20,000, which gives you about 7.2 million shillings. And we are not joking about these issues, by the way. We are condemning, and I am condemning acts of torture. I am saying I disassociate myself from a government, from an officer, from any individual who wakes up and commits acts that amount to torture. So if you're out there and you've been tortured in any way, because we've defined torture as physical or mental, sometimes we say psychological, Section 11 of the Act gives you the right to complain. A person alleging that an offense under this Act has been committed, whether the person is the victim of the offense or not, has a right to complain to police, to the Human Rights Commission, or any other relevant institution. Now, I want to make a statement to our dear police. You've heard the reports that police is number one in torturing people. And when you talk to police, they'll say those particular individuals within the force. And now this Act is giving us the power to complain against an institution or against a private person. So help us bring out that person who is committing acts of torture. And help everybody to realize their rights. Because while we trust you as the national institution or police force, is because we believe you're able to protect people and their property as per your mandate in Article 211 and 212 of the Constitution. Not to torture them, not to disrespect them, not to violate their rights. And this is very strongly coming to you, and I feel it's time to change our mindsets and help our country grow. So wherever people are kept, such places of detention must be the appropriate places. Because under Section 16 of this Act, no one shall be transferred or kept or detained or ordered to be transferred to a detention facility that is not gazetted. We have cells, we have prisons. Those are known places for detaining people as they seek justice or as they await justice. So let justice not be denied, let justice not be delayed. Whoever has been tortured has a right to complain and to have compensation for whatever has been inflicted upon them. But the best thing out for us to do is to eliminate and avoid completely doing acts that amount to torture. And once we do that, then we can be able to talk about the issue of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all of us, for God and my country.